We're recording. Welcome back to another episode of these crazy nut jobs that just eat meat all the time and can't stop talking about it. Tonight we decided we'd share some stories and some deep, dark secrets we might have heard about what's going on in the world, and mostly about what exactly has all this panic buying and virus talk done to our diets. And, of course, joining us from on the other side of the planet, we got Bart in New Zealand, we got Joe in Sydney, Australia, and then we got me and Justin here in sunny SoCal, except it's nighttime and the sun's gone to hell. So,
and we've been having a lot of rain. Like, what the hell?
What is up with all this rain? It's just ruining our desert with all this rain. So, anyways, gentlemen,
it's 4:25 in the afternoon here.
4 in the afternoon. So, what are you eating down there? Praise the Lord.
Today I'm eating later than usual because, as it was, Pim was going to be off work for the next 4 weeks because the New Zealand Prime Minister has shut down all non-essential industries, and Pim imagined that she was working in a business that was classified as such. While she was, happy with the idea that she was going to get 4 weeks to nominally work at home and have, more flexibility around that, which would have been great and would have been taken full advantage of course. In the meantime, the evil machinations of the company that she works for, they've gone back to the government and said, no, we're essential. For those that don't know, Pim works in the omega-3 oil industry.
Oh.
So that's essential, apparently. And so back to work she goes this afternoon. Bye-bye, Pim. See you later. And she's like,
Omega-3 oils, is that primarily lubricants?
Well, I don't know what it's for. Apparently it's good for your heart or something, or your brain or some other shit. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's happened today. So Pim's had to go, fuck, we're essential. Back to work again. Dear, oh dear. So,
Holiday's over.
Yeah, holiday is over. And so we were going to eat, and she's gone back to work. And I'm fucked if I'm going to try and cook anything, because that would be disastrous. And she'll be back later. So yeah, good.
So what's at the market and what kind of food is still available? Everything's still there?
Well, it's not like the craziness you guys are experiencing. It's not remotely like that. However, Pim told me that she had to queue for the best part of an hour to even enter the supermarket because they were only letting, one in, one out, because they had a strict limit on the number of people allowed in there. And there was all social distancing, which is great until you realize the whole fucking building is controlled by central air conditioning. So whoopty shit. Anywho, they don't want to pack people in. Okay, so let's keep it down. Good. And so she had to wait for the best part of an hour to get in there. And then she's thinking, right, let's stock up for the dogs because, fuck it, who knows? It's getting a bit silly, whatever else. Diddly, fine. And then the checkout chickie says to her, oh, you have 3 kidneys here. Yeah, says Pim. No, the limit's 2 of any single item. And Pim's like, are you kidding me? What is the demand for kidneys here exactly? How, is there a problem with kidney supply? Are we short of kidneys? And they're like, madam, the rule applies to everybody for all items. You're only allowed 2 of anything. That kind of, stuff. So anyway, the dogs only got 2 kidneys instead of 3. Oh well, shit happens. Toilet paper is still available. People are still moving around reasonably freely, although the government advises don't travel if you don't need to, don't leave the house if you don't need to, don't go to work if you don't have to. As of midnight tomorrow, our time, all non-essential businesses are being shut down, which Pim thought omega-3 oil would probably qualify as. Bad luck, lovey. I shouldn't laugh.
Shouldn't laugh, but you should.
Well, yeah.
Joe, what's the supermarket like down there, down under?
Crazy.
Any shortage of kangaroo tail?
Actually, you know what, Tom? There was today. There was no kangaroo at all.
What?
Yeah, I was going to go buy some.
Yeah.
All the meat's gone. All the toilet paper's gone. Tissue paper's gone. No more eggs. No milk. A lot of soft drinks are gone, but there's a ton of water there, so there's no issue. Plenty of fruit and vegetables, but the thing that they've gone crazy for now is game consoles. That's the latest thing that seems to be an essential item.
Yep.
So they've gone crazy for that. But yeah, look, we've got our supermarkets have got security guards in them now. People would just be punching up. Yeah, there'd be punch-ups over toilet paper. Yep.
Jesus Christ. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. It's just ridiculous though, isn't it, Joe?
Well, I mean, when this all started, people would be people would be buying toilet paper. And I'm thinking, man, if I would be more worried about my food, not about wiping my ass. I mean, you can always go to the toilet and wash your backside,
Mm-hmm.
If you run out of food, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But one thing that we've had here, and we've had people break into restaurants and clean out their walk-in cool rooms, or what do you call them over there in the States, Tom? Yeah.
Walk-in fridge.
Walk-in fridge, we call them cool rooms here, and they're cleaning them out. So,
holy shit. Okay.
I mean, yesterday I went for a drive, and no restaurants are allowed to trade, only takeaway. Bars and clubs are closed, gyms are closed, cinemas are closed. So, yeah, it's not looking good. And from what I hear, we're possibly going to be going into lockdown. So, but yeah, look, it's crazy.
Justin, what are you seeing when you go to the store besides hallucinations?
And this virus. So, I ordered a Chinese girlfriend, offline. And I think I'm going to have to send her back because I can't let her out of the box.
That's kind of rough, man. You might have to keep one of those full body condoms on her.
Something, man. I don't know. Yeah.
Fresh from Wuhan or what?
Just sanitize it. Just sanitize it. It's made out of plastic anyway, Justin.
Right, I was crazy and it's crazy enough to be thinking, Justin, this better be as good as your gym story. I think it's going to be better.
Maybe. Hopefully a happier ending.
Well, that is the point.
Yeah. So yeah, over here, so at the big box stores like the Wally Mart, the Target, there's no meat. Like they don't have meat. You go to like Albertsons and stuff like that. Their butchers are pretty cleaned out like halfway through the day. So where I got meat this week is I actually went to the Latin demographic food store down here, and they had.
Why do you call the Latin demographic food store what everybody else calls it a Mexican market?
I'm trying to be PC.
But also, did you seriously just say Target?
I did say Target.
Yes.
That I expect to hear. People say that a lot around here. It's like,
go on.
So yeah,
premium
so
name
they don't
for
have
non-premium store.
Yeah. So the Latin demographic establishment has me. I went there pretty early. There was no limit on what I could buy or couldn't buy. They're even honoring their sale like in the paper. So good on them. Went to the park yesterday. There were still some families, walking around and stuff like that. I went to like a hiking trail, tried to find a tree to do some pull-ups on because the damn gym is closed. I found a tree with some interesting mushrooms. No, I did not partake. But yeah, I was doing some pull-ups on that tree. It was kind of interesting. Went for a hike so I was trying to organize with a bunch of friends because it's like, I still want to see my friends. Like we're all young, like we should be able to just go out if we want to. And I was like, all right, we'll go through drive-through In-N-Out, and then we'll go to the park and like eat. And like one of my female friends is like, it's way too dangerous. And I guess a friend of hers, which I'm thinking is a North Cal friend.
I'll keep you safe, don't worry.
Sent her, I guess, in Northern California. I'll have to check with my sister. They're giving out tickets if they see you out and about of like $400
Wow.
with like, yeah, to stay indoors if you're not indoors. So like she sent me that, and so I was trying to pass it on and see, like, I mean, I think we're going to end up canceling because we don't want to get like a ticket or a fine for going to the park. Like that would be the dumbest thing. So yeah, it's crazy here. I mean, yeah, no tissue paper or toilet paper, even at the Latin establishment. And even there, I was able to buy paper towels though. Like they didn't see no limit on paper towels for some reason.
Oh, you said paper trowels for a second. I was like, what?
I think
That's
I
what I
did.
understood.
Is that like for scraping and slinging or setting bricks? What's a paper trowel?
Paper towel.
Towel?
Towel. Yeah.
From Tajay.
From Target.
Tajay, yeah, Tajay towels, yes. Good.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but somebody just fired off a gun outside, so the dogs are barking.
Did not hear that. Just so we know, me and Thomas do not live in Compton. Otherwise, that would be an everyday thing.
We are just outside Compton.
We should go film in Compton to see how they're dealing with the virus. I think that would make a great video.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I just need to break in with this bit of breaking news. Because I just thought of it. Fart K has been on about his stuff again. He had a debate, get this, with fucking Haleman.
Oh, God.
Go and check it out. It's just funny as fuck. Anyway, move on.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it's the same. I haven't heard of any restaurants being broken into. That's super crazy, Joe. I haven't walked through the console aisle to see if that stuff's being bought up. So for my profession, I have to do all telemedicine. My clients online in a very similar fashion. And, you know, they're not too anxious, which is good, at least not yet, which is much surprising. Oh, Trixie.
She's upset because of the loud bang outside.
Fluff. I'm gonna one up you, Tom. Fluffy's coming. Come on, Fluffy. Come on.
And so they seem to be fine so far, but I don't know, like 2 weeks from now, I don't know, like even for myself, like I'm already feeling stir crazy. Like I don't know what I'm going to do.
No gym. It's hard.
No gym. It is hard.
Well, apparently not, Tom. That's the issue here, isn't it? That's the gym that gets them hard.
No, I was talking to. I got a text from John Anderson's people. You know, I was thinking about hiring John Anderson as a coach, and it was a little outside my price range. And I heard from his I don't know, assistant or whatever today, and he's like, "We got a new program, a little bit less expensive. What do you think?" And I'm like, I still don't have a gym to work out. It's going to be a little awkward hiring a pro coach and not having a gym. I mean, I have some weights here at the house, but not near the scope that I'm used to training on. So I hear you, man. It's tough keeping the activity level up. And for me, my schedule's broken. Right. I'm used to like leaving for work at a certain time, going to work at a certain amount of time, going to the gym, come back from the gym, doing some more work, coming home, hit the grocery store on the way home, blah, blah, blah. My routine. I'm kind of routine dependent. And now, like, let's see, last Sunday I stood in line for a couple hours in the rain to get some toilet paper, you know, and then yesterday morning I managed to get some Kleenex. I roll through the store when I get a chance, you know, just see what they got. I usually wind up buying like a package of steak a day or whatever. And then I usually get some sort of, what do you call it? Like deli meat or something, like some hot dogs or some ham or something. Cause for a while there, they're only letting you get one package of fresh meat a day, you know? So I'd get, you know, like I said, hot dogs or ham or turkey or whatever, sliced turkey or whatever, block of cheese or something to bring home. So yeah, so it's interesting. I gave up going to the grocery stores. In fact, one of the one of the Mexican supermarkets I went into, I went there to get kidney, and they had plenty of kidney. They actually had quite a bit of meat, but the lines to get out of that place were insane. I mean, it was crazy insane trying to just wait in line. I had like two trays of kidneys and not much else, another pack of meat or something. And I was probably in a line that was, I don't know, there could have easily been 8 people in front of me before the register, before he actually entered the queue for the register. So yeah, it's pretty nutso out there. Just getting in and out of the parking lots can be a challenge.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I've been going so early in the morning, like a half hour to like 45 minutes before they open. And there's still like a little bit of a line. Seem to not really have any problem with parking or going in and out and stuff like that. And they seem to be stocked, at least on meat. Another thing that sucks is like, carnivore related. So there's so many of us, before going carnivore, we were sick or didn't feel very well. So going out and hanging out like was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's not, and I actually like hanging out now because I don't get a migraine, I don't have like my symptoms, the world is ending. So I'm like, shit, this is really dumb. I
feel healthy and can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Can't go anywhere without getting arrested, without getting a citation. Yeah, my girlfriend actually got a letter from her employer to show the police she got pulled over going to and from work because she's got one of those potentially essential jobs. So you guys still mostly eating beef every day?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I do have a question for Justin. Since you're in the mental health profession, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys expecting an influx of people at some stage that are just going to have breakdowns? Or do you expect?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's really time dependent. And besides, with people being out of work, they may not be able to afford the copay or the money for therapy, or I don't know if the government would issue as a big health spending bill, mental health would be a part of it. I would assume so, but that gets really complicated. If people are, because I don't know how long people could be out of work because of this and keep insurance or keep paying, So, I mean, financially, will it stop them? I mean, every clinic can take a couple nonprofit people, but at the end, we have to keep the lights on too,
Yeah.
Well, we've lost about 200,000 people so far who have had to be let go just from the hospitality industry. Now in Sydney or New South Wales, we're only 5 million people. So that's just hospitality is 200,000. So,
yeah, so
interesting times ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I would assume at some point, but that really sucks because doing only telemedicine, I feel like it's less effective. I mean, especially starting with someone new, like the clients that I have right now are people I've been seeing for at least about a month or longer. And so I kind of already have rapport. I already kind of know like their signals, their body language, when they're telling the truth, when they're BSing, Whereas over here, I feel like it's going to take like 3 or 4 sessions before I can really get in the rhythm of what's going on here, what's this about. And a lot of it is like, you lost the job because of a virus. I don't know what to tell you. We can work on calming strategies, stress relief, and things like that. But you're taking away not just people's jobs, but people's stress relievers, their recreation, their control of their own life,
But as far as there's no precedence for a pandemic to cause a spike in mental health issues, basically based on, anxiety or displacement or something.
If there is, I'm sure there is. I haven't looked at any data, but even if they do come in, I mean, they can talk about it, but it's a bigger problem than what I can solve, and so I'm going to have a real problem. It's just, comfort, support, the socializing, hopefully there'll be a bunch of other social groups online that they can get in touch with, and then assessing for suicidality or homicidality. how's your relationship with your wife and kids? You know, do you want to butcher them? You know what I mean? Because that could go bad really fast. You know, I think there was someone talking about whose wife was scared because she has the gun safe combination or something like that. And like, yeah, no, not a good situation, you know. So it's just like assessing for risk and things like that. I don't know. And the therapists themselves, therapists needing therapy, you know, my self-care to be able to handle, you know, such a continuum of almost unresolvable cases because of it being out of my control, and just teaching them or trying to get them to hunker down pretty much until it's over, I don't know, or gain a new skill. You know, again, it's going to be very time dependent, and I would much rather not get to that point.
But even if you tell them to gain a new skill, where are they going to go? Everything's shut down anyway.
The internet, I mean, something from the internet, pick up I mean, everyone's going to move to digital in one big fashion or another after this. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, why the fuck do I have to go to the office? We just did a whole month of me not at the office and everything was fine. I don't know.
Well, let me ask Bart real quick the original question. Hey, Bart, are you still primarily eating beef?
Yeah. Yep. We have taken on a load this week because we thought, okay, let's take on a bit of a load. We have the facility of a large open top chest freezer. We can store a lot in there. So we just thought we'd take the opportunity to not panic buy, but just to go, okay, there's a bit of silliness going on here, so let's just get organized. So we have many pounds of beef in the house.
Many pounds.
Many pounds of beef.
I know it's probably an unsavory question to some degree, but are you allowed to eat those kiwi birds, or is they like endangered?
Yeah, no, you're not. No.
I heard they're kind of a pain in the ass.
It's frowned upon. But yeah, it's not seen as the done thing for the national bird of the country and our icon out there.
So if I read between the lines, what you're saying is that yes, but you're never going to admit to it on film. Fair enough.
True. Okay, here is a text just received from Pim. It says, Jesus, the police are going to start policing, so I just got a letter to keep with me in case I'm stopped while I'm out and about.
Wow.
It's turned into fucking martial law here in New Zealand as well. The home of the free, for God's sake. New Zealand. Can you believe it?
So as
Jacinda?
I told you guys, I took dinner to my girlfriend at work because she is going to have to work an extra 4 hours tonight. And she requested In-N-Out. In-N-Out, there's an In-N-Out close to where she works. I'm sitting in line waiting for In-N-Out, and here comes a patrol car, pulls in. Here comes another patrol car, pulls in. Here comes some more police SUVs. By the time I left, there was no less than 9 police vehicles
in
the parking lot. No, I think they were just headed to In-N-Out to eat. I don't know. But clearly the safest place to eat is In-N-Out in Diamond Bar right now. So.
Well, they must be bored because there's no crime going on. Everyone's at home.
Well, I think they got tired of that cliche of hanging out at the donut shop. Yeah. So now I'll eat low carb at In-N-Out. That's my guess. I don't really know. So anyways, so nobody's had their diet profoundly affected yet by this. You guys are still pretty much eating what you want to eat.
Well, I mean, I'm upping the ground beef because it's cheaper and because they're letting you buy more ground beef. There's not really a limit on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I grabbed a bunch of fresh ground, and so like 2 to 3 pound packages, and I just bought like as much of it as I could pretty much. What is that, Bart?
Can't read the small print, dude.
Okay, that's
2 weeks of quarantine.
Sorry about that. That's from our good friend Jack, Common Sense Keto.
Yeah.
It's the lass, and she's looking over her left shoulder at the bloke there that's got his hands, his head in his hands, and the text says, "Can you blink more quietly, you fucking cunt?"
little cabin fever, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Thanks for that,
Pretty
Jack.
funny.
But my concern is that the ground beef has more histamine,
It can.
and it's not as flavorful. I like my fatty ribeyes. I like my New York straights. You know what I mean? That's what I like.
Yeah, I really love my New Yorks too. But when I went in, I shop at Sam's a lot, and they had one of those big 10-pound torpedoes of ground beef, but it was a 10% fat. And they didn't have, that's the only one they had. And that was almost the only ground beef they had. I was like, well, I get it. Cause it's one of those rare opportunities to buy 10 pounds at a time. There's no giant, packages or roasts or whatever sitting around right now. So I grabbed it and it's actually quite good. And I actually have been enjoying it. So
I've for me personally, I'm quite lucky. I get my meat wholesale through a supplier, but I have put the question out there to some of the group members on my Facebook group, and a few people have said that they are finding it hard to get meat. Even going direct to the farmer, they can't even keep up with demand. So it is getting more difficult out there. Just see what happens, I guess. I mean, I'm sure at some stage it'll happen for me as well, where it's going to get a little bit tough. And I guess if it ever comes to that, I'll just start eating McDonald's burger patties, the quarter-pounder patties, until this all blows over. I guess it's better than having a bag of chips or ice cream.
yeah, you were saying that even takeaway food is dropped off there in Sydney, right?
Yeah, a lot. So a lot of people have been let off work. So, restaurants were saying, we'll still be able to do well with takeaway, and Uber drivers were saying, we're going to clean up because, you can only get takeaway now. But what no one has realized is that people have been let off work, and therefore they're a little bit more cautious with how they're spending their money. So they don't have that luxury now of just going out and ordering, takeaway or takeout whenever they want.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, Justin, I kind of touched on it based on availability, the restriction of how much you could buy at any one time, and also kind of wondering, how the cash flow situation is going to be. That ground beef makes a lot of sense,
Well, my local supermarket, it's almost like a boutique one, because I actually went to one of the big ones here called Woolworths, and they didn't have any meat at all. So I went to a place called Harris Farm, which they've got fruit, vegetables, they've got a cheese section, meat or fish, they've got everything. And they had ground beef, and you were only allowed to buy 2 packets at a time. So it's 1 kilo of meat. That was it. Can't get any more than that.
Funny because we have. Go ahead. Sorry.
And they're not even accepting butter. They're not even accepting cash. You have to pay with credit card or debit card.
Really, no cash because they don't want to get stuck up.
They don't want to handle it, and they've got big perspex glass or sheets in front of them, so that way that you can't breathe on the cashier as well.
Ooh,
Wow.
It's full on.
Wow.
Yeah. Full on. But I mean, it makes you wonder. I mean, it must be a lot more serious than what now. It must be a lot more serious than what we're led to believe, or what people make, because everyone compares it with the flu. Oh, but with the flu, 600,000 people died, and with this, only a few people. But they're making such a big deal about this. So, is it? I don't know, Bart. What can you sort of shed a bit of light on that?
I think I can in some respects, Joe. For those that don't know, that haven't seen it already, I have, in the last couple of hours, I've actually just spent an hour on a live stream with an American neurosurgeon, a brain surgeon, by the name of Dr. Jack Kruse. Now, a lot of you have probably heard Jack Kruse's name around the traps as
Sure.
the non-native EMF guy. He's the go-to guy. He's the guy that's all about light and frequencies and quantum physics, and
Sure.
everybody else get fucked. That's him. I had him on my channel about a year ago where we just had a chat about all sorts of stuff, and it was really fascinating. And I haven't managed to raise his attention since, until this afternoon. I sent him a message on Facebook. Jack, can you tell me, please? Because I don't know. I'm hearing all sorts of things from all sorts of different sources. This is real. This is fake. This is something to be worried about. This is not something to be worried about, whatever. So I said, Jack, tell us what's going on. And he said, I'll tell you live on your channel, and I'll tell you right fucking now. So within 5 minutes, we were online this afternoon. Bam. That's why there was no warning. So that's on my channel for people to go and have a look at when they have time. He started out by saying, it's been a rough day. And I was like, okay, tell us what's going on, Jack. First of all, he said, okay, he has personally had to lay off 60 of his staff today from his clinic.
Damn.
So not a good day for him. And I'm like, oh, wow, that sucks, Jack, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Basically, his next sentence is, oh, and by the way, 19 of my colleagues in the medical profession are dead. 19. I thought Jack was going to come on and give us a fucking lecture about EMF and stuff, which we still got into, obviously, because that's what he does. But his message today, if anybody missed it when they do watch that, his message today was, you people who are saying this is some kind of fraud or some kind of sham, tell that to the families of my 19 colleagues who have gone.
Hopefully I got the right person. I'm just going to show a picture of Jack's website real quick. Pretty sure this is the right dude. Because
that's Jack Cruz.
Yeah, you guys can see that, right?
Yep, we can.
Figure since we're talking about it, we might as well give him a plug.
Yeah, no, this is the guy, for those that don't know, this is the guy that's all about non-native EMF. This is the guy that's all about circadian rhythms, melanopsin, blue light in the evenings from your artificial sources, from your incandescent lights and your computer screens after dark. This is the eat during daylight hours guy. This is the quantum physics guy. Okay, his day job is he's a brain surgeon, but his other gig is this whole EMF is where it's all that sort of stuff, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so that's where he's starting from. He's saying, look, any of you clowns that want to run around and be conspiracy theorists and say this thing isn't real and blah, 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 19 of his personally known colleagues are dead as we speak. So I'm like, okay, that changes this whole fucking discussion right here, because I thought Jack was going to come on and say, haha, it's all about light. So there you go. Of course, we got onto how it is that, in a quite proper manner, I think, about how it is that optimizing your exposure to non-native EMF and stuff can play a very, very crucial role in terms of things. One of the things Jack was talking about was, it seems like the people's outcomes from this COVID virus are very much connected to their latitude on the planet. In other words, how much UV light they are exposed to on a day-by-day basis, on average, that has a direct effect on mitochondrial redox potential, and that has a direct effect on cellular ability to resist viruses, basically. So what Jack is saying is, when you're going into a period of reduced ultraviolet radiation, that's the time when obviously people are getting sick, and obviously that's around winter. So it's nothing to do with temperature, it's to do with the light colors and frequencies coming through at that time, and those direct effects that has on your mitochondria. So what Jack was saying to us, at least down here on this side of the world, for me and Joe, is that actually, this week is about the first week of autumn, seriously, at least here in New Zealand. It's definitely, leaves are dropping, leaves are changing. I woke up this morning and thought, oh, it's a bit chilly. And so Jack was saying, you know, you guys are sitting ducks because the virus has just got down there and your light intensity has just dropped. So you guys are now going into a period of time where you guys are more susceptible to a pathogen that is already proven to be extremely contagious. That's the difference. It's not the fatality of this thing that's the problem. It's the level of its ease of transmission person to person that is the issue here. That's why the authorities have gone nuts. It's not because of the lethality of the thing. It's no more than the flu. We know that. It's because of the number of people in absolute terms that will be infected, because it infects people so effectively. And even at a very small fatality rate, if you have so many people infected, i.e. everybody, then you have millions and millions of people that are going to die because of this thing. And what Jack was saying was, hey, down there in the Southern Hemisphere, sure, your population density is much lower. Yeah, you know, in Australia and New Zealand, we live at better latitudes than they do up north, so that's slightly better. But we could be in for 18 months of it down here. So where you guys could be up for about 12 months of it is what Jack was projecting. So this is a guy that I thought was going to dismiss the whole thing that turned around and told me, you know, you fuckers need to stop making out like this is no problem. This is a very fucking serious problem. And it completely changed that discussion for me on the spot, because I had him online within 5 minutes. I thought I knew where he was going, and he completely cut my legs out straight away and went, this is very, very fucking serious, didn't he, Joe? That's what he said.
Yeah, look, he sounded very, very concerned. But one of
I've never seen Jack like that. He was Go.
Yeah,
Sorry, Joe.
He was like, you know, this is no joke, no laughing matter. One thing that stuck in my mind is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but he actually mentioned about people that do recover from this have got holes in their lungs.
Yep.
Emphysema-like symptoms.
Yep.
All within 3 months. You know,
scarification. Basically, the development of these nodular thread-like adhesions and scar tissue throughout that. It's fucking these people's lung function up, probably permanently.
So yeah, I mean, when I heard that, all of a sudden for me, things have changed. It's like, okay, well, maybe you do need to wear a mask when you go outside. Maybe that is the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know for me personally, I'm concentrating on getting as much sleep as I can. I'm still exercising, but either by myself or with, you know, one or two other guys I go for a ride with. And the intensity is, you know, a tenth of what we usually do, because, you know, I just don't want to be stressing out my body.
No.
But yeah, it just, Tom, honestly, and Justin and anyone out there, if you get a chance, go onto Bart's channel. You have to watch it. I mean, just the tone in his voice was someone that was deeply concerned about.
Yeah, I caught a few minutes of it in the car, and I was like, "That's Jack Cruz," because I could tell the tone was very different from
very different. That's a very different
Jack Cruz presentation.
Yeah. I mean, when I messaged him this afternoon and said, "Jack, what's on your mind? What's going on?" I expected him to say, "I'll get back to you," you know, or, you know, we'll make an appointment for the next week or something. He said, "I will tell you, and I will tell you online, live on your channel right now." It's like, okay, fuck. Yeah. So I thought,
he's in Louisiana, isn't he? Or New Orleans?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where he's based. Yeah.
So there was an article today in, I think, the Daily Channel 9 online, saying that Louisiana has had a very sharp rise in cases. And from my understanding, it was due to the 1 million people that went there for Mardi Gras.
That's what he was saying, yes.
So crazy.
Yeah, 1 million people have just been there in the last 3 weeks, getting together, sharing all their shit amongst each other. So that's a massive node, a massive nexus of cross-infection that was there in that city at that time. 1 million people over a week, and they've all dispersed out to all corners of the States and beyond to the border, both north and south, I imagine. Bye. Things
well, I mean,
we
we had a very hot day here last week. and Bondi Beach was packed. It's like no one cares about it. So the police have gone down there and, they've shut the beach now. Can't even go to the beach. It's stupidity like that, that causes big issues.
Yeah, there's a big thing where a bunch of people and kids in Florida for spring break, a bunch of the college kids caught it now and are spreading it. That happened in Florida.
Oh, wow.
So
well, I think
that's why they're pushing to close parks and beaches now. So really, because before parks and beaches were open, I guess the thought was that people would, keep the social distancing, the 6 feet apart or whatever. But I guess because people aren't, we're gonna lose everything, and I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, that's a whole nother discussion. But like, what's the point of no beach, especially here in Southern California around summertime? Like, I can't imagine a summer without being able to go to the beach. I think people would riot. I don't know.
Well, I started thinking about what Joe was telling me about. One of the reasons why northern Italy was hit so hard is because you get a lot of Chinese tourists going there to ski in the Alps, right? And that season coincided with the onset of the epidemic before anybody really knew what was going on. But if you think about it too, those northern latitudes probably get a lot less UV light. So it probably allowed for, a virus like this to spread pretty rapidly in a population that was sort of inundated with vectors and probably not as well fortified by UV light. So,
but another thing with the Italians is that in Italy you have many generations living under one roof. So the young kids go out and play, and they come home because usually the homes in Italy could be 3 or 4 stories. So one is for the grandmother, one is for the parents, and one is for the kids. And they come home. They go out to the bar, they go out and have a game of soccer, or whatever. They come home. They've probably got this disease or this virus. Because they're younger, they're probably a little bit more immune to it, but they've now passed it on to their grandmother, who's in her 70s or 80s, and now she's in the shit, and that's and Italians are very she'll be right, mate, kind of attitude, whatever, everyone's relaxed. When this all happened, they're out in the street because they need to go to the bar, and they want to go sit down on the park bench and have a chat when they should be inside the home.
Jack Cruz was saying, Joe, at one point during the discussion I had with him, that children are not expressing with this disease. They're not showing up in hospitals with this disease. It's only a certain demographic from a certain age. Although it's got down to people in their 30s now, where it was sitting much higher. Anyway, there are no children. But what Jack was saying was that in fact the children seem to be the vector. The children are absolutely full of the virus, and it's replicating like absolute fuck in the children, and they are spreading it to the adults.
Wow.
Because they're not being affected by it, because their redox potential as children is at the highest it will be in their life. It's maximum. The elderly have a lower redox potential. That lowers their immune system's ability to basically bleach incoming viruses of a certain kind. That means that those viruses can more effectively have time to attach to cells, get their way in and affect those individuals. That's why old people and those that are immunosuppressed, even as young as in their 30s now, are dying. That's what's going on here.
But are the younger people that are dying, have they got an underlying medical condition?
They've got something that's suppressing their immunity already, yes. Whether that be HIV or whether that be existing pathologies like type 2 diabetes, obesity, those kind of sequelae that are leading to these fatalities, yes, absolutely. It's about redox potential.
Kind of reminds me of stories I used to hear from my own mother when she used to talk about her aunts I'm not sure if they're actually her great aunts or her just the immediate generation above her, but those aunts' parents had died of the Spanish flu and left a generation of kids to kind of fend for themselves. But of course, this was in rural Wisconsin, so other extended family members would go and help them work the farm because the parents didn't survive the Spanish flu, and that was what 1890 or something like that. I'll have to look that up.
Of course, those younger generation that were exposed to that had the redox potential to deal with it, therefore had the antibodies to that infection and were therefore immune. That's how they survived. Brilliant, isn't it? That's why in any species, individuals have to live and die, because there needs to be the next generation to do exactly that. That's how it works.
So does anyone have an idea how long this could potentially last for?
Okay, Jack did give a projection. For what it's worth, this is Jack Cruz's number from what he said to me this afternoon in a live chat. He said because of the seasonal situation in the Northern Hemisphere, this could last another 12 months from this point. However, down here in the Southern Hemisphere, because we are now just going into the winter and it's going to precipitate the problem and probably exacerbate the problem, we are looking at an 18-month period before it all is at a point where it's nominally under control.
I think there's also another problem in that, I mean, if we take over it here in the Northern Hemisphere, and then we start flying to the Southern Hemisphere or vice versa, couldn't that continue it? Like propagate it?
Those of you that have been exposed, that are going to be exposed up there, that come down here will already be immune. You'll have the antibodies. You won't be an issue anymore. The issue will be the number of people who have not yet been exposed, who are therefore, as an individual, at some risk of death due to this particular pathogen.
But wouldn't you become a carrier if you've already had it?
If you've had it and your body's defeated it and your immune system has beaten that thing off and it's gone, then the only thing that remains is the antibody that recognizes that thing should it ever show its ugly face in your body again, and then you'll kick its ass straight away because you'll already have the complement ready to go and produce a massive immune response to that thing that will just overwhelm it immediately. That's how it works.
That was a very good question and answer.
That's also how massive allergic reactions actually work. The anaphylactic shock, that's what that is. Anaphylactic shock is actually a misfire, a malfunction of that very same immune thing that has gone crazy to the point where it will react to something that's not going to cause you a problem really, like peanuts, or in my case, it's penicillin. If anyone gets near me with penicillin, anaphylactic shock.
Really?
Penicillin would kill me. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, should I? Because someone will send me some in the post, won't they? So there you go. That and wasp stings and bee stings could both be fatal for yours truly.
Really?
And that's what that is. So just for a little biology lesson, that's
And then of course, I mean, there's the issue of mutation. I mean, it mutating because it's so in so many different places. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just gets crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to Jack about that particular issue, but I have seen reports that not only is this particular virus more contagious than anything we've known before, but also it's mutating at a rate that is doing the heads in of these people that are trying to keep up with this fucker of mothers. It is apparently mutating at a rate where these guys are, and these people, they're working 24/7 to keep up with this thing, and they're going, what's it doing now? Put it that way. Yeah, be afraid.
I was just going to say,
yeah,
Mother Nature's always trying to kill you. I mean,
of course she is. Yeah,
bitch.
Yeah. And as I said on my Facebook page earlier today, public service announcement: when this does all kick off, the only way to truly kill a zombie is to decapitate it. Good.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I was going to say, Justin, I think the other thing is that
I did buy a
you're
new
saying-
axe yesterday. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a couple of spares.
Good.
but I think if it does, I mean, we've already closed our borders here. So, I mean, if they do see that it is quite bad, they're not going to let anyone into the country.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the same,
I don't
true
think
in
we
New
have.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Our
But
borders
he
are
did-
closed too, but it's already here. So
Yeah. But look at that. Beautiful.
Oh, look at that.
Jack did also say that there's evidence to show that this is not man-made. This is, or not biological. This is a real virus that came from bats.
Yeah.
So, because there's
That's
all
what he
these
said.
theories
Yeah,
out there.
I don't have the background to
Okay.
analyze that particular. I mean, that's Jack's department as a medic. He said the evidence is clear. It's come from bats, and I'd have to accept that. Ozzy Osbourne.
And
You have a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
And just to point something out, that just because a virus mutated doesn't mean the existing antibodies aren't going to be ineffective against it, right? It has to mutate a certain.
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah. But the thing about this particular one, Tom, this is what Jack was saying. Oh, well, he didn't get to the point because we didn't get to it. He was saying to me online beforehand, the thing is mutating at a rate they've not seen before. That's frightening these people. That the scientists that are trying to track this thing's DNA, RNA, are shitting themselves. They're going, fuck me, this thing is
And not
moving
every
quick.
mutation is going to be a successful life form, right? So
No, of course.
yeah,
Most of them fail.
I try to take a little bit of fear out of the concept of mutation, because we all grew up on horror films and sci-fi based on, mutation of one kind or another. But just because something, in fact, I think in nature in general, there's this sort of controversial theory that's, radiation bursts from outer space causes mutation, and it's very rare to see a mutation that actually is viable. So
Yeah. Jack was saying that incoming cosmic radiation can upset your mitochondria and thus fuck up your redox potential.
I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. Yeah.
Yep. So what he was saying was that during a grand solar minimum, which by the way we're heading towards apparently in terms of the sun's output and shit, that tends to allow more solar radiation in, which tends to reduce animals' mitochondrial ability to keep their redox potential up. It pushes that down. It's a forcing from above, if you like. And that tends to mean a poorer time for animals. We're going to be sickly. It's going to be a time of not goodness, apparently, according to the Jack school of how it all works.
So I'd like to hear you guys, after all this doom and gloom, I'd like to hear you guys reflect on your own personal feelings of just how robust being a full-time carnivore makes you feel, in times of plague. Do you think you're more robust than the average bear?
I mean,
Give
I
us an
think
order.
I'm more robust than I was certainly before carnivore. Like I'm kind of more like, just bring it. You know what I mean? Like, let me have it. Let me get over it so I can stop fucking worrying about it, honestly, at this point.
It's a shame Ray's not here to talk about his robustness.
No, Mr. Robust wanted to go to bed instead of being here with us. So
He probably hugs it like it's a teddy bear on his pillow. We love you.
I'm sorry, Justin. Go on.
Yeah, no problem. I feel like I'm the best prepared that I could be for it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than 95-100% carnivore. So there's nothing more I can do besides keep eating meat, salt, water, and sleep.
Zumbo, what do you say?
Look, I don't want to underestimate. I mean, especially after hearing that interview with with Bart and Jack, I don't want to underestimate this virus. I take all the necessary precautions. I wash my hands with hot soapy water for 20 seconds, as recommended. I sanitize my hands, make sure I don't get too close to people. But my feeling is, and like I said in our last video that when we spoke about this, I feel that if I do get sick, I can probably get over it a little bit quicker than if I was on a standard diet. So I'm not saying I'm not going to get sick. I feel that I can still get sick, but I'll be able to heal a bit quicker and bounce back to 100% at a much faster rate.
Perhaps your body is clean, brother, but have you cleaned your soul?
Never.
Good. Neither have I. Fantastic.
Can't hear you, Tom. You're on mute.
Do you think you're more robust as a carnivore, Bart?
Tom, I have never questioned that for a second. I found the true path. I found the light when I found it. It made sense to me straight away. Inherently, I believed it. I went down that path pretty adherently for a few months, and I really did get very, very remarkable results. And then my human frailty in terms of my self-discipline kicked in, and I started to add a few of those things back in that I really shouldn't have. And they really have, those very few transgressions really do have a cost, and it really is massive in terms of how it actually affects the overall outcome. So that's the take home on that one. People should get those things out.
By that you mean beer and pizza? The plague
Beer
of
and pizza
mankind?
is not a good thing at all. Snake juice is good stuff, apparently, so long as, it's all in balance with everything else, of course, because balance is good, isn't it? Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has said that before more than once, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure balance is a good thing, but there you go. Look, no, I've never felt better than when I've been carnivore. What I'm really alluding to is that all my problems that still exist are I genuinely believe hangovers, because I'm not 100% adherent, and I've never claimed to be. I don't have the self-discipline at this point. I'm working on it. And Fart K's working on his too, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I keep saying I haven't been sick in over 2 years, so that never happened
me either.
before in
Not
my
one
life.
day, Thomas. Not one day have I been sick.
I kind of look at it like, I mean, this coronavirus, COVID-19 is no joke. It's people getting really sick, and like you said, people survive often have damage to their lungs and stuff like that. We don't know how long it'll take that to resolve, if it will.
It's permanent.
But it seems like if your body's not fighting a bunch of other stuff, it's gonna handle that better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned before that when we were talking about carnivores having lower body odor, we can draw a straight line over to Staphylococcus hominis, which grows on the skin and causes most body odor. And we think people on a carnivore diet just grow less Staphylococcus on the skin. And then we also noticed that Streptococcus causes most cavities, and people stop eating sugar tend to get fewer or no cavities, again related to a carnivore diet, just not consuming those carbohydrates. So you don't have strep in your body. You're less likely to get strep throat. Who here before carnivore had ever gotten strep throat before?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I mean, so, and then, there was that study about strep and candida breaking down starches together, they're hanging out in that film and breaking them down and getting their fuel from stuff. So you don't just have all these individual, bacteria and virus and fungus and so on and so forth living off carbohydrates and proliferating in your body. And your body, obviously your immune system has to deal with that on some level. Mm-hmm. So you lower that, and then boom, your immune system has more juice to apply to, stuff like the coronavirus, right?
Yep. Thomas, say coccus again for us.
Streptococcus.
Coccus. I like it.
Coccus.
Good.
Is that makes
Wow.
you happy? If whatever makes you happy, Bart.
Have we put the world to rights, boys?
Yes, I think we have.
Awesome.
Do we all feel better now?
Well, I woke up this morning feeling like the whole thing was a complete beat up, because my sole concern, Thomas, was that I was looking at the thing let's look at the fatality rate of this thing. What's the problem? But it wasn't until I spoke to Jack, and Jack said, yeah, sure, the fatality rate is low for low-risk populations and the population in general. But the rate at which this disease is transmitted from person to person, its particular contagiousness, that's the thing we haven't seen before, apparently. That's what is the driver of this hysteria. It's not media madness. It's not media hysteria. There's a good medical reason for it. It's not the fatality of the disease. It's the rate at which it's transmitted.
Yeah.
It's nearly 100%, I'm told. If you are in contact with someone who is infected, you have got it. Fuck you. Apparently. Pretty much. That's what the rule is here. That's why the world has gone mad. That's why the government is saying, for fuck's sake, stay at home.
Yeah, and I'll say for the record, I've been wearing, when I go out, I go to the store to get some food, I'm wearing gloves and I wear a mask. I'm not actually wearing a gas mask.
Yeah, you should probably also wear clothes as well, Thomas. That's probably what upset the people there in the supermarket, to be fair.
You don't have to tell me that. They made that very clear.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Actually, was it Jack that mentioned that some of the symptoms now have changed? And one of them is smell and taste.
Yes, boys and girls, if you lose your sense of smell or taste suddenly, present yourself to medical care immediately.
Interesting.
That's a sign. That's a sign you've been infected. Before you even have any other symptoms, smell and taste. If it's gone, get tested. Bam.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
There you go. Apparently.
Well, I think based on schedules, we need to wrap this up. But I appreciate you guys showing up. It's always a delight to talk to you guys. It's always nice to reach out to people near and wide and stay in touch, support our community. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Leave us a comment, subscribe if you would. It really helps the channel. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, what more information you want. And please send the link on to people who could benefit from the information. And until next time, feel better, and we'll see you online. Come see us at Autistic Carnivores. Go check out Bart's channel, and find us on Facebook, easy enough. Autistic Carnivores, Ketogenic Fasting Project, and Center of Brilliance. So anyways, thank you again, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Love you, boys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you later.